Now, there are three types of acceleration here. We have positive acceleration, we have negative acceleration, and we also have zero acceleration. So, you can see we have three types of acceleration: positive acceleration, negative acceleration, and zero acceleration. Now, when can we say that the acceleration is positive? Positive acceleration, when the velocity of the body increases with time, its acceleration is positive. I repeat, when the velocity of the body increases with time, its acceleration is positive. Here, acceleration is in the direction of velocity. Acceleration and velocity both are in the same direction when we talk about positive acceleration. Example, you can see this is the inclined plane, a ball which is rolling down the inclined plane. A ball which is rolling down the inclined plane. Okay. The next one, negative acceleration. When the velocity of a body decreases with time, its acceleration is negative. When the velocity of the body decreases with time, its acceleration is negative. And in negative acceleration, the direction of acceleration and the direction of velocity are, they both are in opposite direction. Okay, acceleration is opposite to the direction of velocity. Acceleration is opposite to the direction of velocity. You can see the inclined plane here. So the example for negative acceleration is a ball moving up the inclined plane. A ball moving up in an inclined plane. The third type of acceleration is zero acceleration. When there is no change in the velocity of a body with time, its acceleration is zero. I repeat, when there is no change in the velocity of a body with time, its acceleration is zero. Example, when a body is at rest, its acceleration is zero. When a body is at rest, its acceleration is zero. Now, let us derive the formula for acceleration. Let us consider u, that is small letter u, as the initial velocity. Initial means the starting velocity. Let us consider small letter v as the final velocity. And let us take time as t. Okay, small letter t we are using for time. Now, according to definition, acceleration is rate of change of velocity. Rate of change of velocity means change in velocity in unit time. Change in velocity in unit time. So, the final velocity minus the initial velocity divided by time. Final velocity minus the initial velocity divided by time. Now let us sum this up together. Acceleration given by small letter a. So acceleration a is equal to v minus u by t. V minus u by t. Now as you are aware that velocity is the unit, or the SI unit of velocity is meters per second. So meter in the numerator and time in the denominator, which is given in seconds. And we are also aware that time is taken in seconds. So our numerator m into 1 is n, and our denominator s multiplied by s. This s is standing for seconds. So s multiplied by s, which is s square. So the SI unit of acceleration can be written as meters per second square. I repeat, the SI unit of acceleration is written as meters per second square. How we are getting this meters per second square, I have explained in this box. And the CGS unit of acceleration is taken as centimeter per second square. CGS unit is taken as centimeter per unit square. Yes. Now, moving to the next one, we have again two types of acceleration, which is according to the definition, which goes according to the definition, and we are going to make the use of words velocity and time. Now listen carefully. If the velocity changes by equal amounts in equal time intervals, the object is said to have uniform acceleration. If the velocity changes by equal amounts in equal time intervals, the object is said to have uniform acceleration. What is the meaning of this? Changes in velocity should be equal and changes in the time interval should also be equal. Then in that case, it becomes an example of uniform acceleration. It becomes an example of uniform acceleration. So what will be non-uniform acceleration now? If the velocity changes by unequal amounts in equal time intervals, the object is said to have non-uniform acceleration. So what is the meaning of this? Here, if the velocity changes are unequal, by keeping the time intervals equal, then it becomes a case of non-uniform motion. It becomes a case of non-uniform motion. Now children, what we have to do is to understand this, we have one example which is given in the textbook. That is this example. As you can see, children, we have a hollow pipe. We have a hollow pipe here, and this hollow pipe we need to cut from middle. We need to cut from middle. So the half of the pipe will look something like this. So it looks like a channel. Can you see? It looks like a channel. So the hollow pipe we need to cut, and this looks like a channel. Now through this channel you allow the ball to roll down. You allow the ball to roll down. Through this channel allow the ball to roll down. Now what question they are asking is, what changes can you see in velocity the time when the ball is allowed to roll down? That is the starting point. What is the velocity of the ball when it is somewhere in the middle of this channel, and what is the velocity of the ball when it reaches the end point? So this is what they have asked us to reply. Okay, that this is what they have asked us. They want an answer for this. What happens when you allow to roll this ball along this channel, and they want us to answer for the starting point, the middle point, and the point where the ball reaches the bottom of this channel. The bottom of this channel. So I have an answer for that. The velocity of the ball is continuously changing. Initially ball is dropped from rest. That is, we can say the ball is at zero velocity. As it rolls down, its velocity goes on increasing, and when the ball hits the surface and stops, its velocity becomes zero again. Its velocity becomes zero again. So at start, children, when the ball starts rolling from this point, it is starting from zero velocity, and as it is moving down, it will develop its velocity, and the velocity goes on increasing, right? And the moment it reaches the bottom of the channel, that is here, again it will stop moving. So we can say the velocity becomes zero. The velocity becomes zero. Let me repeat that answer once again. The velocity of the ball is continuously changing. Initially ball is dropped from rest. That is, it is having zero velocity. As it rolls down, its velocity goes on increasing. When the ball hits the surface and stops, its velocity becomes zero again. Its velocity becomes zero again. So we have already covered this activity. This activity is given in your textbook, and certain questions are there whose answer I have already given. Okay children, thank you.